Ah, good morning, my friend. How are you today? You're bright and early, I see. Very nice. Always good to see dedication in the young and able. Hope you haven't been waiting too long. It is rather cold outside. Ah, not only early, but you're not alone either. Thank you for getting my coffee, my friend. I know it must seem lazy of me getting you to do it, but since you passed the place I like on your way here, I suppose it only really makes sense that you stop by on your way. The caramel macchiato with whip, correct? Of course, I'm not doubting you. Not doubting you at all. After all, how long have you been working for me now? 2? 3 months? I'm more than confident in your abilities to follow instructions. I just like to be sure. Ah, yes, that's the stuff. Wonderful. I knew I was right in trusting you. Now, allow me to get the keys open, and we'll let the day begin. There we are. I'm so glad we switched to interdimensional portals rather than a bog standard for the front door. Far less mundane. After you. So, did you have a pleasant evening? I know you were hesitant to be sent home early, but I thought you'd enjoy having a bit of extra time to yourself. You do work so hard after all keeping this place in order. I dare say you're even giving Wong a run for his money. Um, actually, there was something rather important I've been meaning to talk to you about. Before the day began, of course, and before you got about your duties. If you'll step into my office, it would really be appreciated. First, though, let me light some incense and some flavor wafting through the air. You know? Alright, perfect. Now, the reason I've called you here, rather than allowed you to go about your regularly assigned duties, is because I have something rather important to tell you. I must admit, when you first applied to be an intern, I was rather hesitant. I must admit, I typically ignore such requests. Being Sorcerer Supreme and Master of the Mystic Arts, it's a rather high stakes job, usually suited only for the most powerful of wizards and witches. I mean, I could be called at a moment's notice to fight against world enders, or demons, or gods. I won't even I won't even curse your ears with the stories of my great battles with Dormammu. But having someone who is barely a novice in that sort of environment, well, it's typically a recipe for disaster. Don't ask for details. You don't want to hear about them. But the thing is, you kept sending letters, and my housekeeper, well, spirits rest her, read every single one, and was most supportive in giving you a chance, so I thought, why not? Stranger things have been known to happen. I read your letter, and I was most touched by what you wrote, stating how you've been long fascinated by magic and always had a desire to help your fellow man. Well, it reminded me of myself when I was your age. Upon seeing your passion, your enthusiasm for the mystic arts, I knew I just had to accept. And you know what? I must admit you haven't disappointed. You've been here 2 months, and not only have you done a magnificent job in handling everyday tasks, but you've done so without complaining even once. Normally, if I ask Wong to pick up too many coffees, he complains. But I must admit, you are quite amazing. You've brought me coffee, you've handled all of the paperwork. The city's been sending over for collateral damage, even from Stark. Cataloging every mystical artifact in my possession without being devoured, and when the Dreadlord Tyrannus came by last week seeking his soul gem, you were pivotal in safely evacuating the staff while I combated him. What I'm saying, my friend, is that I like you. I think that you have the potential to be something great. You've shown me you have not only the soul and spirit needed to be Sorcerer Supreme, but the heart. Perhaps the most crucial feature, besides being able to cast magic, of course, and I would be more than happy to take you on as my apprentice, so that you may someday take my place as Sorcerer Supreme and Protector of the Realms. Oh, that excited look. You look almost like a puppy. So hopeful. Which is why I must quickly add, my friend, that there is one condition. During our time together, you have shown you're skilled in so many different ways. Not only, but your kind is courage. You are courageous. Now listen, you haven't shown the slightest bit of talent for actually using magic. No, 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 I know what you're thinking. Dr. Stupendous, of course I'm weak with magic. I'm a novice, like you said. But no, my friend, I'm not saying you're weak with magic. I'm saying you haven't shown the slightest bit of aptitude for magic talent at all. Good, bad, or even mediocre. As far as I can tell, it's almost as if there's nothing magical about you. And I know that sounds bad. And I certainly didn't mean to offer you any sort of hope that wouldn't go anywhere. I didn't mean to offend you or upset you, but you can see what I'm getting at, can't you? You can have all the mind, spirit, and soul in the world, but if you can't cast magic, there's no real point in being a sorcerer, is there? Or even attempting it, let alone Sorcerer Supreme. Again, I mean no offense by any of this. I certainly don't wish to upset you. You're a wonderful person, a wonderful human being, and perhaps the tidiest person that's ever graced these houses' halls. Spirits know we needed it. But unless you can cast a spell for me or show the slightest bit of magic acuity, I'm afraid your internship will have to end. Please don't be upset. After all, in our darkest hour, when we are pushed up against the wall, when we need to prove ourselves not only to the world but to ourselves, is when we can do seriously amazing things. Some might even call them strange. Simply show me you have some magical abilities, and I'll know it will be worth to train you as a sorcerer. Now I'm going to ask you to conjure a fireball, or manipulate reality, or anything silly like that. No, 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 no. Such magic. It's far, far beyond your current level, and even beyond most adept mystical practitioners. No, what I'm going to ask of you, my friend, is that we return outside to the front door of my house. We won't have to walk. Allow me to simply conjure us there. All right, here we are, back outside. It's truly a beautiful day, isn't it? Certainly warming up. Hopefully a herald of your good fortune. Now, what I'm going to ask of you may seem daunting at first, but there's not a doubt in my mind that you're capable of providing proof of your magical existence. I simply want you to take these keys and open the front door of the house. My dear, it is not as simple as that. I know you're used to waiting outside for me to arrive and open up, but these keys themselves are special, as I'm sure you know. Typically, they'd repel anyone carrying them that was a stranger. However, the keys in the house know you well. They see you as a friend, and as such will let you carry them. That is not, however, the house's only defense. Should the person wielding the keys manage to pass the first trial, so to speak, There is another. You must place the keys into the door lock and turn them. Yes, I'm sure it seems far too easy, but this is what I must ask of you. Merely open the door, and I will take you on as my apprentice. Do it now, please. As I thought. The key itself can only be activated by people with mystical energies inside of them. Even the slightest amount would have compelled the door to open, but it seems you simply don't have any. As far as I can tell, you are exceptionally mundane. I'd hoped being around my collection of artifacts for so long could have caused them to imprint something upon you, but it doesn't seem to have been the case. I apologize, my friend. I had hoped you'd show something, but it simply doesn't seem to be. And you would have been the perfect Sorcerer Supreme. You had the right character for it. I truly am sorry. Though I doubted even I doubted even a drop compared to the ocean of emotions you must be feeling. I suppose I'll just have to train you up as one of my allies instead. Yes, that's exactly what I said. You've seen the rest of my staff. Some of them know magic, but most of them are simply well-trained martial artists, in tune with themselves rather than the universe around them. Many of them started as you did, hoping to become powerful sorcerers, but lacking the innate magic ability as you do. In fact, most of them spend their time helping on matters I'm too busy to attend to, but are just as important and vital as any of the Sorcerer Supreme's duties. I would not simply discard you. My friend, I would never do that. Some of the greatest heroes I know, they develop skills. And even the ones with powers never needed them to be a hero. There was a time a young web swinger I knew. He lost his powers. He came here to the Sanctum Sanctorum. He begged, pleaded. Strange. Science has failed me. Mr. Stark doesn't know what to do. Reed Richards can't help me. Is there anything you can do to help me get my powers back? And as I spoke to the young lad, I told him, your powers do not define you. What beats inside of you is the heart of a hero. When you risk your life out there every day, your powers may help, but it's you're putting on the line. I would never even think of discarding you simply because you aren't accustomed to one's areas. That does not mean you're worthless, merely that you need to readjust your course of action. Why, I see a great future ahead of you. You've already shown great talent in many of the areas my staff excels in, and I would be honored if you would be willing to join me. Of course, it's your life, my friend. I can't force you to choose this option. And I understand that even with this opportunity, it's not what your heart was set on. So it's up to you at the end of the day. From intern to Sorcerer Supreme to ally to a Sorcerer Supreme, what do you say? Marvelous. I'm truly glad you're accepting, my friend. And I found the courage to take this path, even if it isn't what you hoped for. Now let's get you inside. Pour you a nice warm cup of coffee and get started on your training. Hello, my name is Man of Culture. I'm kind of a comic nerd, so every now and then I'm going to sprinkle one of these to keep me motivated. Anyway, sorry, I love this kind of stuff. It was so fun being Sorcerer Supreme because like my nephew has like my nephew, he's like a kid, but I'm getting him into comics, even though he can't read comics yet. But like I'm buying him all the superhero stuff, so I hope he gets in them. Dude, he really likes watching Doctor Strange, like the movies. Oh my god, I love this type of stuff. I love comic books. Oh my god, I'm such a nerd. Sorry, I'm nerding out. I'm sorry, I'm nerding out. Anyways, God, I was so happy that I found this script because I was like, by the great eyes of the Vishanti. Anyways, I hope you like this. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, consider donating as it funds the channel and everything I do. Make sure to check out my Patreon, which is filled with amazing content for all my lovely viewers. And have an amazing day, everyone. Make sure to check out my Discord and my Twitter if you want to stay up to date on what's happening on my channel. I know this came out late, but unfortunately I was working on a few things. I have family coming over very soon that'll be staying over for like a few weeks. What can I do? Now, I'd like to give a big shout out to our loyal tier 3 Patreon subscribers. Gray, Hybrid Sisters, Sweethyjinx, Unsupervised Cat, Star Espersen, and ace.cries, and Castiel. I know that all of you have what it takes to become allies of the Sorcerer Supreme, Stephen Strange. I'm sorry, I'm such a nerd. Anyways, have an amazing day. Bye!